Hey guys, welcome back to Comic Book Corner. I'm your host Gear Up 260, and yeah, we're gonna do another unboxing. I did get another box, and again, after getting a cheesy response from CGC today, I'm not looking forward to opening this. And I really hope that whatever issues they were having, they've addressed it, man. Because if I get more cracks in these, I don't know what to do anymore. I just checked PSA. They're not even doing slabs yet. Like, what's the joke? It's been a year and a half. They're talking about grading comics. What are they waiting for? Here we have a Rick and Morty #1. This one came in at a 9.4. It had some edge wear, and it had 2 color breaking spine ticks. So 9.4 is justified on that. And it looks like everything is fine with this one. So 1 is good. Next, we have Venom 3. This is the 3rd printing with null on the cover. And again, looks perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with this one. This was actually a resubmit. It was already a 9.6 and it came back a 9.6 again. So I won't try a 3rd time because 2 times is enough, man. And I think they wrote something about the spine. There is a grader's notes on this, and it says something about the spine. I mean, all I do is see a little bit of a spine, a bindery tear along the top there, but that should be acceptable for a 9.8. It's very small, but whatever. It was worth a shot. We tried and failed. Next, we have a Young Avengers #1, 9.8. That's another book that dropped dramatically in price. I remember this thing was selling for $1,000, maybe more. Now it's like a $300 book if you're lucky. Wow, crazy. But again, no damage. So, whatever person was using the encapsulating machine when they did my books last week, I'm sorry, they messed up, and CGC is not owning up to it, because all of these so far are perfectly fine and flawless, like every other slab I got back in the last 20 years. So for them to go around and tell me, somebody that's sending 2,500 books a year, that it's normal to have little cracks on the left side, sorry, it's not normal. Here I have a RMC Collectibles Convention Edition. This was somebody had picked this up for me. I don't even remember asking them to get it, and then they mailed it off to me from New York City. So that was cool of them, because I'm a big Harley Quinn fan, and that's a pretty cool Harley Quinn cover. Oh, here we have a really cool one. This one is called Sally Forth. It's a tough book to find. Adam Hughes cover. And this one I had to change the staples because they were really rusted, man. For a book from 95, it didn't make any sense. However, it did have some rust migration that was still visible on the centerfold. And they did note that in the grader's notes. And I believe that rust migration is what kind of held the grade back a little bit. I think personally this could have hit a 9, but because of that rust, it brought it down to an 8, man. I tried my best to clean the rust as much as possible. There was some on the cover, and there was some on multiple interior pages. I was able to get 90% of it off, but that centerfold still showed a minute line of rust, man. And there was nothing I could do for that. This one here, however, was a 9.6. And I believe it should have been a 9.8. So we did send this one back, and it was a solid contender. There was zero flaws with this book. Don't even really know how it could have gotten a 9.6 the first time around. This is probably the 7th copy of this book that I grade, and every single one came back a 9.8, except that. And now it did. Then we have this book. By the way, every single slab is perfect on the left side. Every single one. Not a scratch, let alone a hairline fracture. Not even a scratch, man. Yeah. And CGC is telling me that my 40 books over there, they're normal within standards. Yeah, sure. This one might be worth a shot to try to get maybe a 9.6 because it just has one non-color breaking tick. And technically, with CGC standards, one non-color breaking tick can still get you a 9.8, or so they say. I don't know, man. In 25 years that I've been doing CGC grading, basically since they started grading comics, I have never, ever lost confidence as much as I've lost confidence with CGC this week. You know? Here we have a 9.8 Magic. That's the Comic Mint exclusive. This one needed a press. And thankfully so, because it came back a 9.8. Then we have another Rogue, the Savage Land. This is the Warren Lau variant. Again, a 9.8. And again, perfect. Like every single slab should be. You're paying $25 to get a book graded and encapsulated. Well, the case should not have multiple defects on it, man. And when it does, they should take it back. And the streak continues. No damage. Everything's fine. No cracks. And we have this beautiful Canadian price variant for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. These are pretty cool. They're the direct edition because there's no barcode. But nonetheless, they have the $1.25 price. So that makes it the Canadian price variant. The US had a $1 price. And they have two versions of this. They have the newsstand version and they have the direct version. So we have some directs here. We sent in 5 copies. And these were all solid 9.8 contenders. We got 196. So far, we got back some G.I. Joes. East Side Comics edition. Some exclusives. We got 198. And we got the John Jang variant in a 9.6. This one had some grader's notes saying there's a scratch on the back cover. So I don't see what they're referring to. But there's some debris on the back cover that you can see right there. I wonder if that's part of CGC standards. Maybe it's acceptable. Hey, I've heard some cases have some hair in it. I've had some cases come back with the book upside down. Within standards. Oh yeah, here we go. Now we're talking. So, we get back at 9.8. But guess what? Hairline fracture. Right there. Yeah. So they haven't solved the problem. Yeah, it's gotten better. Because this is the first one that has a fracture. 1 out of 12 so far. Not bad. But why did it have to be the 9.8? Next, we have another one, 9.6. So, again, should have been a 9.8. I don't see any flaws on that. And the case is perfect. Of course, the case is perfect. That's why you get a 9.6. If it was a 9.8, it would have had a cracked case. Here we go. Another 9.6 with a perfectly flawless case. And another 9.6 with a perfectly flawless case. Of course. Of course, man. Yes, go CGC. Then we have this one here. Looks pretty good. 9.2. It was a 9.2. We cracked it, sent it back in. Still a 9.2. To me, looks like a 9.6. Has one color break in the spine. 1. Why a 9.2? I don't know. Then we have this one here. Santino. Got your first book back from CGC. 9.4. This was pressed. And for some reason, still came back at 9.4. Oh, yeah, there's a color break and a crunch here. Holy fuck, man. Yeah. This book definitely got damaged. Again. I can't say if it got damaged during transport or if it got damaged at the CGC facility. But there's a corner here that's been repaired. And that wasn't me, man. So 9.4 on that. No way to prove anything. And then we have a metal cover here, the last book of this submission. And again, flawless metal cover. Gets a 9.8. Okay, I can live with that. Would have been nice to see a 9.9. But no, yeah, there's some color rub along the edge. I get it. 9.8 is acceptable on that. I'm not going to argue just because it's a metal cover that it should automatically get a 9.9 because that's just silly. Now, thank you for joining us. Please, CGC, we have one cracked case. One hairline fracture. It's not too bad. And you know what? It is acceptable. It is acceptable when you receive 1 out of 20. I could live with that. But last week, man, I got 100 books. And 40 of them were severely damaged. I would say 20 were severely damaged and 20 had minor damage, okay? And CGC needs to own up to that, but they're not. They're telling me it's within standards. So, shame on you, man. That's all I could say is shame on you because they're not within standards, man. They may be within CGC standards, but they're not within my standards. And I'm the paying customer.